It started with a letter, a mysterious, emotional note that Meri Brown shared with the world. But few realized, it wasn't just a letter. It was a message. A coded, silent act of revenge. And now, Meri is revealing shocking behind-the-scenes truths, including the bombshell claim that Kody had Tamron Hall removed from the tell-alls after she dared to question him. Was Meri's emotional confession a heartfelt reflection, or a calculated strike against the man who silenced her? This is the untold story, Meri Brown's silent revolution. Part 1. Meri Brown has lived through years of pain, rejection, and isolation. As the first wife of Kody Brown, she once shared a powerful bond with him, but over time, cracks began to show. Kody's actions and words on TV have often left her in a vulnerable position, her feelings exposed for the world to see. It wasn't always like this. Once, they were a power couple, Kody, Meri, and their dreams of a shared life in polygamy. But as the years passed, Kody's feelings began to shift, and Meri found herself cast aside. But Meri's never been one to back down. In the wake of their troubled relationship, she began to turn inward, drawing strength from within. And now, she's ready to share something that will rock their entire world. It all started when Meri received a letter. Not just any letter, but one that would change everything. The letter wasn't from Kody, it was from someone close to their family. Someone who had witnessed everything from the inside. This letter holds memories, both sweet and painful, and it has the power to reveal truths that Kody would rather stay hidden. But instead of confronting him directly, Meri chose a different path. She shared the contents of that letter with her closest friends, and the world. What's inside this letter? And what did it say about Kody's behavior behind the scenes? Inside the letter were memories of moments that Kody had long since buried. Times when he promised Meri the world but didn't deliver. It talked about the emotional toll of being the first wife, how Meri had sacrificed for the family while feeling alone, even with Kody by her side. For years, I gave everything, Meri says in one emotional interview. And yet, it was never enough. I was always pushed to the side, never fully seen. You know, we all had to figure out our own relationships with Meri, Kody once said. She's not a priority to me anymore. For Meri, the letter wasn't just words on paper. It was validation. Validation that she had been right all along, that she deserved more. More than just the role of the first wife. But what Meri did next took everyone by surprise. Instead of keeping the letter to herself, she released it to the public. A message, subtle yet undeniable, that said she was no longer just a shadow in Kody's life. She was ready to reclaim her power. I knew Meri had it in her, one fan writes. This is her chance to finally take back control. Whatever Meri chooses to do, that's her business, Kody said. But can you hear it in his voice? A subtle shift. A realization that Meri's move wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. The letter didn't just cause ripples within the Brown family. It ignited a firestorm of backlash. Fans rallied behind Meri, applauding her for finally standing up for herself after years of neglect. You go, Meri. It's about time you did this for you, one fan exclaimed. But not everyone was on her side. Kody's supporters were quick to criticize her actions, calling them petty and unnecessary. She should have just moved on, one wrote. Why stir the pot? The world watched as Meri's silent revenge sparked a debate. Was she justified? Or was this just a bitter attempt to settle old scores? But here's the real twist. As the dust settled and the public debate raged on, more letters surfaced. Not just Meri's. Other wives began sharing their own stories. And in those letters, new truths emerged. Secrets Kody had kept hidden for years, until now. Each new revelation chipped away at the image Kody had built for himself. The man once seen as the family patriarch, the one everyone trusted, now faced a reckoning. Meri had won. Her subtle revenge had finally unraveled Kody's facade. And in the end, Meri got something far more valuable than revenge. She got her freedom. Meri's silent revenge was never about the past. It was about reclaiming her future. A future where she could finally live her truth, and let Kody's truth be known. Part 2. Meri Brown, the first wife of Kody Brown, was once at the center of it all. The early seasons of Sister Wives portrayed her as the strong, confident partner, the one who believed in the family structure that Kody built. But behind the cameras, things were far from perfect. In the beginning, there was love. There was hope. Meri and Kody were the blueprint for this unconventional family. But over time, cracks began to show. Kody's shifting attention, his growing bond with Robyn, and the strains of polygamy put pressure on their relationship. For years, I was told I wasn't enough, Meri admits in a quiet interview. I was left to deal with the silence, the rejection. I had to keep up appearances, but inside, I was crumbling. It wasn't just the relationship with Kody. Meri had to navigate the complexities of being in a polygamous family where she felt like an outsider. Every season, every tell-all revealed more of the painful truth of her existence within this family, but no one truly saw her suffering, until now. When Meri Brown spoke out during the Sister Wives tell-all, the world was watching. But in a stunning twist, something happened that no one could have predicted. Meri claims Kody had the interview with Tamron Hall, an opportunity to finally hold him accountable, cut short. "I've always tried to stay out of it," Kody said. Meri's journey is her own. But as Tamron pushed harder for answers, Kody grew defensive. Meri claims that just as the interview reached a boiling point, Tamron was abruptly removed, cutting off any further accountability. Was this a coincidence, or was it a calculated move by Kody to maintain control over the narrative? Meri's silence up until now is suddenly broken by this revelation, and the fallout is immense. "I can't believe Kody did this. Why was Tamron removed?" One fan wrote. "Kody's hiding something, and Meri knows it." But as the drama of the tell-alls unfolded, a pivotal moment occurred. Meri and Kody finally came face to face in an emotional reunion after years of distance. The reunion was long overdue, but it wasn't the happy reconciliation fans had hoped for. The years of separation were clear. Kody was cold, while Meri had changed. She was no longer the submissive wife she once was. Instead, she had found strength in her own truth. Meri's silence over the years was not a sign of weakness. It was a strategic withdrawal. She had been fighting her own battle, one that no one understood. And now, the truth was out. She was no longer the victim, she was the empowered woman reclaiming her narrative. As Meri opened up about her past with Kody, it became clear that the tension wasn't just between them. Robyn, Kody's favorite wife, had become the emotional center of Kody's world. Meri, once the first and most important wife, now found herself pushed aside, not only by Kody but by Robyn as well. Robyn, once seen as the outsider, had slowly woven herself into the fabric of the family, becoming Kody's emotional anchor. But Meri, still part of the family, was left to observe from the sidelines. Meri's confrontation with Kody and Robyn wasn't just about their relationship, it was about reclaiming her own space. Her emotional growth was evident as she spoke out, not just for herself, but for all the women who had been silenced by the Brown family dynamic. As Meri's truths began to surface, the fan reaction was overwhelming. On social media, Reddit forums, and YouTube, viewers poured their hearts out, voicing their support for Meri's newfound strength. "I've always felt for Meri. She's finally speaking her truth," one fan commented. "It's heartbreaking how Kody and Robyn treated her. But not everyone was supportive." Kody's defenders were quick to attack, claiming Meri was just trying to tear down her family for attention. The division was clear, and the emotional stakes were higher than ever. And then, Meri made a final declaration. Her journey of healing wasn't just for the cameras. It was real. After a decade of suffering, she had found her voice. Her strength wasn't about tearing down Kody or Robyn. It was about reclaiming her dignity and her future. Meri Brown's story is one of transformation. From the quiet, sidelined first wife to a powerful woman who chose her own path. This isn't just about polygamy, it's about finding freedom in a life filled with restrictions. It's about standing tall in the face of emotional betrayal. Let us know what you think in the comments. What was your reaction to Meri's revelation? Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. Once upon a time, Meri and Kody Brown were the foundation of sister wives. The first marriage. The first dream. The story that began it all. Their marriage was built on faith, trust, and the promise of unity. But as the years passed, the cracks deepened, and love turned into silence. "I was there first. I believed in us. But slowly, I disappeared." Kody's affection drifted elsewhere, first toward Janelle, and later, Robyn. Viewers watched the imbalance grow season after season, while Meri tried to hold on to what little was left. But the world didn't know that behind the cameras, Meri was documenting everything. Every word, every heartbreak, in letters she never planned to reveal, until now. It began with a simple post. Meri shared an emotional letter online, filled with bittersweet memories, fragments of heartbreak, and subtle hints of betrayal. Fans assumed it was a reflection, but insiders say it was a message. A warning shot aimed at Kody. Meri's letter wasn't random. She knew exactly what she was doing. Every line was layered, part nostalgia, part justice. The letter described moments of love, but also times when Kody's words felt cold, rehearsed, almost scripted for the cameras. When Kody declared on national television that he wasn't in love with Meri anymore, the world gasped. But Meri stayed silent, until that letter surfaced. And what followed would expose a side of the show no one was supposed to see. In 2021, host Tamron Hall sat down with the Browns for what was supposed to be a raw, honest tell-all. But according to Meri, that honesty came at a cost. Tamron was tough. She asked questions that made people uncomfortable, especially Kody. And after that, she was gone. Meri alleges that Kody personally intervened to have Tamron removed from future interviews, claiming she crossed the line. That decision, if true, wasn't just about TV control. It symbolized something far darker. The silencing of women who dared to hold Kody accountable. Was it just a clash of personalities, or a deliberate cover-up to protect the Brown family's image? So Kody can't handle strong women calling him out. Meri's courage is unmatched. She's finally speaking her truth. Tamron exposed the real dynamics. That's why she's gone. The community was divided, but one thing was clear: Meri's silence had ended. After nearly 10 years of estrangement, Meri and Kody finally reunited. Cameras rolled. The moment was supposed to be healing. But instead, it was haunting. Meri's eyes, soft yet guarded. Kody's, cold, defensive. Fans expected closure, but what they got was confrontation. Years of bottled pain erupting beneath calm voices. Meri, I can't go back. I don't love you that way. For many, it was the final confirmation that Meri had already moved on, emotionally and spiritually. She had built her own businesses, her own community, her own peace. And unlike Kody, she didn't need a camera to validate it. But in that reunion, there was something Kody didn't expect: forgiveness. The kind that feels more like liberation than closure. On Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube, thousands of fans debated Meri's motives. Was she exposing Kody, or finally healing from him? This is Meri's soft revenge, not with anger, but truth. Tamron asked what we've all been thinking. Kody couldn't handle accountability. Robyn's influence over Kody runs deeper than anyone admits. Across every community, one theme stood out: women recognizing women. Meri's story became more than reality TV. It became a mirror for countless women who had stayed silent in their own relationships. Meri's story resonates because it's universal. It's about reclaiming identity after emotional neglect, a story millions of women know all too well. But the real twist was still ahead, and it would shake the entire Brown family dynamic to its core. Sometimes silence speaks louder than confrontation. I'm at peace with who I've become. The twist: her letter wasn't revenge. It was closure. What fans once saw as retaliation was really her way of letting go, and reclaiming her story. And for Kody, the damage was done. His control over the family narrative had fractured, not through public fights, but through the quiet strength of the woman he underestimated. Meri didn't need to scream to be heard. She whispered, and the world listened. Today, Meri Brown stands as more than Kody's first wife. She's a symbol of resilience, truth, and the power of quiet rebellion. Her story isn't about revenge, it's about rebirth. And her silence, that was the loudest message of all. This is Meri Brown's silent revolution. Long before the fame, before the cameras and the family expansion, there was just Meri and Kody, two dreamers in Lehi, Utah, building their future with hope and faith. They believed in plural marriage as a divine calling, something pure and spiritual. But as time went on, that faith was tested. The Brown family left Utah under pressure from anti-polygamy laws, moving to Las Vegas in 2011. It was a turning point, for their faith, and for Meri. Meri once said, "I thought distance would bring peace, but it only brought silence." For the first time, Meri let her handwritten words be read aloud, slowly, painfully. "There were nights I watched the door, hoping you'd come back, but you didn't. I waited, until waiting became who I was." Relationship experts later noted how Meri's word choices, waiting, watching, still hoping, reveal emotional trauma recovery. Each phrase felt like a closure ritual, where she was finally releasing what had held her captive. To understand the Tamron Hall controversy, we have to look at the rules behind reality television. According to TLC's production guidelines, hosts must get executive approval before discussing unplanned sensitive topics. Tamron's direct questions about Kody's behavior reportedly crossed that line. A similar situation unfolded on The Bachelor when host Chris Harrison left after a racially charged interview. Producers stepped in, just as they allegedly did with Tamron, to protect brand integrity over authenticity. For many fans, this mirrored a familiar pattern: powerful men being shielded, strong women being silenced. As the reunion aired, fans dissected every second. Kody's body language, the folded arms, the downward gaze, told a story of discomfort. Meri, on the other hand, showed calm control, maintaining eye contact and composure. 10 years earlier, during a family argument, Meri had broken down in tears. Now, that same woman sat tall, unshaken. For viewers, this wasn't just a reunion. It was a role reversal. Kody, once dominant, now defensive. Meri, once quiet, now unafraid. Reddit threads exploded overnight. TikTok creators stitched Meri's clips into powerful, healing montages. On Facebook, support groups for divorced women used her speech as inspiration. One viral comment read, "She spoke for every woman who's ever felt invisible." Dr. Linda Perkins, a family psychologist, noted, Meri's story taps into collective trauma, women finding power after emotional gaslighting. The Sister Wives fandom wasn't just gossiping anymore. It was reflecting. Meri's transformation didn't end with a letter or a TV moment. She launched her own retreats, counseling programs, and motivational platforms, guiding others through self-worth and recovery. According to public business filings, Real Life with Meri began in 2023, a series focused on personal growth and resilience. Meanwhile, Kody's image continues to fracture. With legal attention on polygamy softening after Utah's 2020 decriminalization, Meri's decision to step away marked not rebellion, but evolution. Freedom doesn't mean walking away. It means walking toward peace. And in that peace, Meri found what she'd been denied for years: her voice, her worth, and her truth. If Meri's journey inspired you, hit like, subscribe for more deep dives into the Sister Wives world, and comment below. Do you think Kody really silenced Tamron Hall? Or was Meri's letter the revenge he never saw coming? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we uncover Robyn Brown's secret strategy to rebuild Kody's image, and how it could change everything.